and I call the member for Surprise for Wright.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And it's with great pleasure I rise to speak on the Farm Household Support Bill, Farm Household Support Consequential Amendment Bill this evening in the chamber. And before I speak directly to the bill, it would be remiss of me not to take charge of some of the comments that come from the other side of the House during this debate. When members opposite this chamber took the opportunity to aspire the credentials that pricing carbon was a good thing for our farming sector. Can I say firsthand, I was only speaking with an irrigator the other day, last Saturday it was, who when he opened his power bill physically was sick as he looked at the escalating cost of him doing business in his sector, in the agricultural sector. Physically ill. Now, can you imagine what stress that has on a family's mindset? Can you imagine what pressure it puts on the family budget? And I'd ask anyone in this place to challenge them as to when the last time they opened an account, a bill, and that their only course of comprehension, where the immediate response was to be violently ill. So to come to this place and aspire that pricing carbon is a wonderful aspiration for the agriculture sector is fundamentally flawed. It is playing a crippling role. And with that, we heard comments from the crossbenchers that it was ridiculous that Australia could be the food bowl for Asia. Can I say, members from the crossbenchers who have spent more than 20, 25, 27 years in Parliament, whether it be in state Parliament or in this place, I challenge this House that they are part of the problem. They are part of the problem because it is those who sit on the crossbenchers and decide that, and go back and have a look at their years of experience. I would challenge you that when the farm input costs, when they come to the Parliament, whether it was state Parliament or federal, were up to 6 times lower than what they were. I would challenge you that when those members of the crossbenchers who come in here and say that there wasn't a future in agriculture and scoffed at the coalition when we said that there was, that the average cattle property in his electorate would have had around 10 full-time workers on it. Now today, in his electorate, the average workforce on a property would be mum and dad and the odd contractor that would come in on an annual basis. Input costs are crippling our sector, whether it be through oil costs, petroleum costs, labour costs, seed costs. Do you know what? When we compare ourselves, we say that we're a smart nation. A John Deere harvester in America, $400,000. The exact same machine. We're at parity not too long ago in the Americas on the Australian dollar. The exact same machine here was $800,000. Why? It is the crossbenchers that have overseen that and then dare to come in and criticise the coalition when we put up packages to assist this sector. In my electorate, I'm proud of my sector. I am proud of my sector. We have the Lockyer Valley through Gatton, Laidley and Forest Hill. And can I say, in those communities, in addition, we have the Fassifern Valley, Boat Desert, Boonah, Harrisville, Peak Crossing, to the southeast, Canungra and Beechmont. But each one of those communities rely heavily on the success of the agricultural sector, because whether it be beef or dairy or horticulture, when one of my farms is doing well, they're in town buying new stock, new product. A typical farming business in my electorate is a family business by the name of Dovers and Son, third generation, openly saying it's as tough as they've ever seen it. And it is tough. It is tough. We haven't been affected. We weren't affected by the live cattle export trade debacle that we saw introduced by the other side of the House and supported by the Greens. But as a result, when those northern cattle no longer had a market or an export market, they were forced into our southern markets, so our traditional prices that we would have got took a beating. So our cash flow, we were affected by the live cattle export debacle. Our dairy industry is on its knees, at the hands of the duopolies, of the processors that they sell their milk to, and when you go to the processors and put them under the pump, they'll make it absolutely clear that that the pressure is being screwed on them on the back of dollar milk processing. I have got in Queensland now less than 500 dairy farmers. From 10 years ago, 2,500. So it is a bleak future. And I've stood in this place and spoke about the dairy industry many times before, and advocated that I cannot fix this industry with one single piece of legislation through a mandatory code of conduct. There needs to be in the dairy sector, in my electorate, a muscling up on the processors and demanding a better price for your product at the farm gate. I mean, the retailers understand the value of the price of milk because they strategically place it at the back of the store so that you have to walk past all their other product lines to go and get it. So they understand the value of milk. They use it as a cost leader to get people into the door so that they can take advantage of the market. My horticultural sector. I have it's the 7th most fertile valley in the world. On this planet, the 7th most fertile in the world, in the way of Lockyer Valley, and situated right next door to the Fassifern Valley. The Lockyer Valley produce is sent to vegetable markets in all major cities and contributes to around $250 million worth of product each year, just sold out of that area. Next door, still within my electorate, the Scenic Rim is dominated by agriculture, contributing about $196 million and 13.6% of the gross regional product to the Scenic Rim. Agriculture is also the largest employer within the Scenic Rim, employment of a total of about 1,400 people, or 13.7% of the region's workforce. Mr. Speaker, can I say that the thing that unites my agricultural sector, whether it be dairy, beef or horticulture, is rising debt. Can I tell you, just a quick synopsis, roughly if you bought a place in the electorate about 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you would have paid around $5 million for it. Your debt ratio would have always been skewed at around 50%. Over the last 10 years, the value of your property went from $5 million to $10 million. So as a result, your debt ratio at 50% went from $2.5 million through to $5 million as the prices escalated. So you got a debt of $5 million on a valuation of 10. Now, in recent years, on the back of the drought and poor policy decisions by a previous government, the value of land has come back. So we've got properties now that were worth $10 million that are, if pushed for a fire sale today, would be worth around $6 million. But they are still carrying a $5 million debt. So they're way outside their 50% loan ratio, And can I say why, as a government, we are here today introducing the Farm Household Support Bill. We are doing our share in lifting and trying to help this sector back to prosperity. Can I say that there is a responsibility of our banks? There is a responsibility of our banks who rode the wave of prosperity, who saw the opportunity to lend to a market, who saw the opportunity when rising valuations, saw that was a safe bet with security, that if things went south, so that their money was going to be secure. So I say that there is a role for our major banks in helping, being part of the solution. There is a future in the agricultural sector in Australia. There is a future in the dairy industry, and there is a future in the beef industry, and there is a future in the horticultural industry. And if you listen to the cost benchers, they will tell you there's not. Evidence to support my case that there is a future in this sector is that when a place over $200 million wants to get sold, there is a line from here for a kilometre long of international buyers waiting in line to come to Australia to invest into this sector because they see the future benefit. They see the future benefit. Why do they see the future benefit, and why do they see Australia as a safe bet to invest in? Because we are the smartest in the world. We are the most efficient farmers in the world. We are the most intuitive farmers in the world, and we will continue to be because we have to be. In my dairy industry, I've got a local family, the Dennis family, said no more, I'm not accepting the processor's price. Pulled a couple of $1 million, did a partnership deal with some friends, some family, some banks, a couple of $1 million, and set up his own bottling plant and is now distributing his milk, for real scenic milk brand, to over 200 outlets in the southeast corner. And that's the initiative. That is the intuition that inspires us as a nation. Those singular type of operators. As a government, the producers aren't looking to us for a hand up. They're not looking for a hand up. They're not sorry for a handout. They're not looking for a handout. They just want us to get out of their way. These are our people. The agricultural sector are our people, just as the unions are linked to the hip of the Australian Labor Party. The agriculture sector are our people. When we cut ourselves, they bleed. The agricultural sector believe in the same political ideologies of freedom, of free market. They believe in the values of family. They believe in the values of Christianity. These people are the true quintessentials that have made Australia what it is. They need to be looked after, and they are our future. I had lunch again on Saturday. I was disappointed when I heard a grown man tell me that his property west of Longreach, that he's spending nearly $20,000 a week on feed to keep his stock alive. And in his power, and he's got 3 kids coming through. And I said, do you want the kids to take over the place? And he's saying, not a chance. Not a chance. This is killing me. There's no way I want my kids to do that. And he said, but do you know what? However tough it is, I will get out of this. I will be better for it. And he said, my kids, I know it's not the right thing. I don't want to push them into it. He said, but I know that they'll live here. My parents lived here. I lived here. My kids will live on this place. That there is a sense of pride in the bush. There is a sense of achievement. As a coalition government, we need to link arms, lock arm with this sector and ride with them for the next 10 years in conjunction with the banks, by writing good policy, by making sure that we do everything in our power to reduce these horrific input costs. Because for every day that we have breath in ourselves, we should remember that there are people out there at the moment opening their energy bills that are being physically sick, ill, because they have no idea of how they're going to meet those costs. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your indulgement and I commend the bill.